I don't know what the noise in the background is.
I'm back. Frogs have seen me. Think they're getting fed. I yeah. If anyone was watching this morning or follows me, the GB Facebook page, I had a trip out yesterday and went to see a couple of lads um, who have got a little small unit inside a garden centre. Feed us, Dad. Inside a garden centre, and they specialise in rarer tropical plants for the terrarium trade. So I've obviously in the small, not in the tank with the smaller frogs, I'm having a bit of issue in there, and it's really frustrating me, to be honest. So I've got these mad mushrooms that some mushroom species are fine, but these particular ones, they grow the cap, and then the cap turns into horrible black sludge, and they're not nice at all. So I've managed to get as many of them out as I can, but I'm really OCD. Me and these two tanks are different, so it gives me an opportunity to redo the small tank, but buy another one of these tanks, or B, move this tank over onto where the green jades are, break down the other tank, store the frogs. You can tub them up for a while, store the frogs, and look into, I don't want to get rid of those 4 frogs, but look into, if I had a full width terrarium that was a lot taller, can I have a couple of species that you can keep in groups that will cohabit? And if I can, that's going to be my plan. So this whole top shelf, at the moment these are 45 cubed, and if I do decide to do what I want to do, the new one will be 900 by 900 wide, 45 deep, 45 front to back, and 600 tall. So I'll get a lot of height, and when you've got a lot of height, you can then use vine plants. So stuff like macravias and various different plants that will sort of vine up the background. And I'm not gonna, if I do it, I'm only having one piece of hardscape in there, and the rest's gonna be this thing called tree fern. So they're like 5 millimeter thick compressed tree fern fibres, and just glue them on, but your plants all adhere to them. He's sitting watching me here. I don't think I haven't really been fed today, but they have had a snack. Have I got enough to give them another snack? Let's have a look. I'm not tapping these flies out by my cup of tea. You got no chance. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got enough. 7. Oh, here they come. Look at it. Another that many in there. Right, lid on that. So, and I think I might go and see a guy from Dark Frogs UK as well. And if I have one done, I'm going to have it all done in glass, with drilled vents and stuff in it. You're over there, and there's the flies. Come on. Yeah, there's one here. There you go. There ain't many lads and lasses. He's just slipped down the hole. Come on, there's flies here. Oh, he's got his eyes on the one climbing up the wall. Now he's trod on one. There we go. So yeah, it's I don't know how old you guys are, but there was a song by a guy called Rockwell, sort of Michael Jackson era type thing, and he did a song. I always feel like there's somebody watching me, or I think the Thompson twins in the 80s did a song called "Watching You, Watching Me," or "Watching the Detectives." That one was, I think. They are cool. It's whether it, the nice thing about the type of terrarium that we're in, the Exoterra one, is it's almost plug and play, if that makes sense. You don't have to really do anything. It's just sort of, take it out of the box, put some drainage layer in, put a bit of mesh in, put some substrate in, and away you go. Plant it, don't plant it, do what you want to do. The problem with Exoterra is the fit down the edges of the glass isn't great. So let me just show you here a minute. Take that off actually. So the fit down the edge of the glass isn't great, and fruit flies will escape that. But what you can do is you can fill them with silicon and then cut the silicon, slice the silicon, so that it's sealed and you don't lose fruit flies. And that's probably the problem if you've got them in your house. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. If fruit flies get out, they'll just die in here. They can't fly, they're flightless. So they're just going to fall on the floor, crawl around for a bit and die and probably get trod on. But if you're having something custom made and you're spending a decent bit of dough on it, you want it to be spot on. So if I had she wouldn't let me have one in the house, but if I had a custom in the house, 100% it would have to be, it'd have to be fly proof. Nothing's getting out. Oh, there we go. He's brave as anything, geese. Whereas the others, you only got to look at the tank and they all leg it. But yeah, I wouldn't mind trying some of. I want to get all my planting right first if I do a new one. So, not sure yet. I'm wondering if these are two females, Sorry, I'm vaping all over the camera. They were together when I fetched them, but in a massive tank. Although the one on the right, the back on that is definitely more angular than the one on the left, and she's bigger. But she does bully the other one, which makes me wonder if they are both females. They do massive poos as well for frogs, like. I don't know. I think they're just. I think the species, the nature of the Dendrobates tinctoria species, is that they don't give a toss, like, you know what I mean. And he's heard something then. They don't give a toss. The bravest of all of the dart frog is the golden dart frog, the Dendrobates. I don't know if they're Dendrobates, but I think they are Dendrobates terribilis, and they're in the wild the most poisonous dart frog known to man. And one touch in the wild and they'll kill you. They'll kill a man just one touch. But because they're not eating the types of foods, in captivity that they would in the wild, they're non-toxic in the wild. They'll eat certain foods that they'll convert to alkaloids, and the alkaloids secrete back out through the skin, and it's toxic. But they're eating fruit flies or bean weevils or pinhead crickets here that have no toxicity to them, like say a bull ant or a fire ant or something like that. Yeah, mad. I thought about getting some fire ants and feeding them up on fire ants, and then accidentally wiping the rim of my wife's cup around the body to see what happens. Because you can buy fire ants, not as a food, as people keep them. People keep pet ants, don't they? So you can buy fire ants. I mean, I really like the Terribilis. They're bigger than these, and they are like proper bulldogs. But the nice thing about them is you can keep them in small groups. Well, not you can keep it depends on the size of the terrarium. If you've got a big enough terrarium, you can keep them in 5, 6, 7. If the terrarium's big enough. If I had the 900, I could probably keep 5 Terribilis genus, but I don't know if I want big frogs. I'd sooner have a pile of little frogs that were more visible. Maybe 2 species that won't interbreed but will get on socially, something like that. Bit of research, don't know. I wasn't going to go live. I've only gone live because the missus has gone to bingo, and I need the hours. I'm pushing hours to see if I can get the channel monetized, and lives are a great way of boosting your hours. I just don't want to flood the market with them, you know what I mean? I don't want to do them for the sake of doing them. So I think I'm going to stick to my Wednesday and might do a Friday. The Sunday morning one was just because I was in here doing stuff. She was at work, and I was in here anyway, so why not? I could play the frog call to them of a male and see what the pair of them do. Then the other hard bit is if we've got two females, how do you find a male? Although the people that I went to see yesterday, they've got some connections in the hobby, so they could put me onto breeders and stuff, and somebody might take a female and trade it for a male and a bit of money, or so you don't know, do you? Somebody might have too many males. But they're proper active and brave. Where they came from, they're in a huge terrarium with so there's Azurius, and then so Tinctorius Azurius, and there's lots of different locales. So these are called Tinctorius cobalts. They're the same family but a different locale. They come from a different place, and he'd got these two in with 3 Tinctorius Azurius, and you're not supposed to really cross locales. But never had any issues with them. But the terrarium was massive, and proper all grown in. It got a water. Well, it was a paludarium. It got a water section in there with little nano fish and all sorts. It was really nice. But due to his job, he was breaking it down. And I originally was after. Lovely. That's really good. Rainer, well done. I think they're from like Panama, down that way. I'm not 100%, but you get Panama, Nicaragua, and I'm not sure where the cobalts come from, but you get loads of different sort of locales, and some are highland and some are lowland, and was speaking to these guys yesterday. What I didn't realise is that the South American, sorry, that was my gnat trap. The yeah, look, bullying. Oi, come on, packing in, off. It's not mating, it's bullying. The South American rainforest in the main doesn't really have soil per se. It's like a layer of rock and loads of rotting vegetation that sort of creates a thin soil layer. And this is why when you see that rainforest, you get all those trees with those big buttresses, because the tree can't anchor into nothing because of the bedrock. So what it does, it puts out these buttresses to stabilise itself, which really shocked me. And I'm trying to plant stuff in the substrate where realistically I probably shouldn't. I should have loads of what do they call them, epiphyte plants and orchids that sit, sat on the piece of bark here. Put them in some wet sphagnum moss, but I've tried to put this a little clip of this new plant that I've got yesterday, but these guys are just too boisterous to let it take hold. It needs to take hold first or go in a smaller frog terrarium. So it's this stuff, an Ecuadorian fern, Peperomia, something marginella, right? Don't know, can't pronounce it, but this stuff will just grow everywhere, but it stays low. It's a little bit like, but a smaller version. It's a little bit like, can't think of the name of the plant. Can't think of the name of the plant. It's an aquarium plant, hydrocoil japonica, stuff like that. But once this gets established, it will just grow everywhere, and that's really what I want. So I don't really want leaf litter, I want plant cover, so mosses and stuff like that. But because of how boisterous these pair of buggers are, I don't really want to put it in there, and I may end up changing some of this. How the layout is. So this begonia type plant here, again, learned something about this yesterday. It doesn't like wet leaves, and I've always lost begonias, and it's probably because I spray the leaves rather than the base of the plant. I am going to take this plant off here, Ficus pumila, because I don't want it to get like that one, and it just chokes everything. But again, speaking to these guys yesterday, I learned that the reason it does that is because you keep the terrarium so humid, and it likes to have some dry area, so it's actually reaching up off potentially the forest floor looking for dry. So yeah, I'm learning. Love learning. It's all part of the hobby, isn't it? Yeah, it's just rocks, leaf litter and wood. Decaying leaf litter, decaying wood, that's it. So the thin layer of soil, and I'll say that in inverted commas, the thin layer of soil in the rainforest isn't actually soil, it's compost through the breaking down of stuff, and then you've obviously got insects and the like that sort of eat on that and break that down even further. I'd imagine over millions of years you'll get a bed of soil, but it's not soil. So yeah, I could sit and watch them all day. They're really active species. All of the Dendrobates tinctorius species are, because these weren't my original choice. My original choice was I was going to buy 3 juveniles called, they're listening to me, these frogs are. Look at them. I was going to buy 3 juveniles, and they were called Brazilian yellowheads, So yellow, solid yellow head, and then the back was going down from, like, look, bully. The back was going from sort of a dark blue, and then the legs were almost like a dark denim colour. They were almost like a dark denim colour. So this is they're fighting. That's exactly what that is. They're fighting. The dominant one will end up being tubbed. Should be coming out and spend a few days in prison. And I will put her in prison. I've got it already set up for her. And she goes in the hut. So with the hut, what they do is you leave them a little dish with a bit of water in, and if they do breed, because I thought there was a male and a female, and I'm undecided now, but I still think there's a male and a female, and the female is just super dominant, and which they can be, and she'll lay tadpoles in there, whereas the little small ones in the other terrarium, they lay tadpoles on leaves, and the male watches keeps an eye on the tadpoles, on the eggs. If the eggs hatch into tadpoles inside the little jelly case, the male somehow gets them onto his back. He's put a hat on, look. Picks up a bit of fibre, it looks like he's got a hat on. Yeah, the Ransomeyer hide a lot, and I think with the Ransomeyer, it's yeah, from what I've read, they're hit and miss. They're either going to be very shy or very very, and it's frog dependent. Some people will have them and say they're really sort of bold. Other people will have them and say they're not really bold. Leucomelas, bumblebee dart frogs are exactly the same. So dependent on the ones you get, and they can be kept in groups peacefully as well. Some of the netted Bolivian netted is a really nice version of the bumblebee, but they're sort of a little bit smaller than these, but bigger than the other ones, and they breed quite readily as well. Yeah, they'll climb all over this, get right up high if they need to be. So sometimes the male, what tends to happen is the plant's right in the back. The male tucks himself in there so that what I think's the male, so she can't get at him. But at the back there, all those are cork tubes that I've sort of put in. The back's made out of expanding foam, and I've pushed the cork tubes into them but left them hollow. So the light green plant coming down the stem is a golden pothos, and the hole at the top is filled with soil, so that log is a hollow log filled with soil. And he goes and hides in that hole sometimes, sits in there out the way, or she. I could probably do with I've been put into contact with someone that's local who breeds Umphaga, just Umphaga species, but so that was small thumbnail size, but anything that's, if you need to know anything about frogs, apparently he's your man. So I might invite him over to sex these for me, and then if they are female, these sort of 99% female, I'll see if I can locate an adult male from somewhere. So I don't know if Sunday night's a bad time to, it might be just the time people are eating or something. I don't know if Sunday evenings is a bad time to stream, or it's the fact that it's frogs and Not many people follow me for the frogs, I don't know. Yeah, I've had a bit of a. I've put a good litre of dry leaf litter in the Epibobates, the smaller dart frog tank, and I'm not spraying them for a few days. I'm going to allow them to almost have a dry season. I've raised the temp in the room, see what that does. Although the humidity will probably stay high in there because of the amount of plants and plant cover that's in there. Do I need to drain the base layer? No. Love to know where these hide, you know. Although even the big frogs, the ones that are staring each other out now, they that's a faulty nicrew light, by the way, they're flashing. I've got two lights over here. I think they're both nicrew, but one of them's blue and white and the other one's full spectrum. I think it's the full spectrum one that flashes. It's probably the power pack, the plug. They don't seem to mind them flashing. Hi Jeff. Don't know, looking at them side on like that, you know, I don't know if both look like female. The one at the front's definitely got a less curved back, or is it just the way they're sitting? Don't know. And only one of them goes in the hut, which again suggests that that's a female, but it could just be that she's the dominant female, so the hut's hers, the breeding hut's hers. Don't know. And the guy had them off said that there was no aggression, but there probably wouldn't be in a massive terrarium. Just looking at a shrimp tank down the bottom, there's a shrimp in there that's absolutely stunning. That might need to go in my breeding tank. Well, its backline is stunning, but I can't see many decent facial markings on it, which is a shame. Because if its face was anything like its back, well, bear with me guys, I'm just going to go down and have a look at this shrimp. Wow. That is amazing. Yeah, that's coming out. It needs to go in a breeder because it's buried. Don't want to put it where I want to put it. If it's covered in, if it's full of eggs, it can come out and have its babies and then go in my breeding project. I can't see messages at the moment, so if anyone's going show us, I can't. In fact, let's. I'm just going to sidetrack for a second. Now I said froggy, so I'm just going to sidetrack for a second. That shrimp there, right in the centre of the screen. Got some good babies out of these. Yeah, if there was more, oh, the clips come up. If there was more of that back pattern on the face, metallic circles, that would be really nice. Problem with having a bad back is when you get down that low, can you get back up? Yeah, just reading Rainer's comment. I never could get a male for my frogs that were big enough so they don't get eaten. That's one of the problems with bigger frogs. Yeah, the only other option, and I haven't got the space to do it, is you buy some smaller ones and hope you get a male. Or, and I don't really want to do this, or you sell on the pair of females and they live for sort of 10 years plus. I'm sure there's a guy on YouTube who's still got some Azurius frogs that he's had, or he says he's had, for 20 plus years. And I'm one of those people that if I take an animal, obviously I breed shrimp to sell, but the frogs aren't there as any part of the business. If anything, they're for doing stuff like this, and they're something that I can sort of do within the room and learn and sort of grow with. I'm not saying never, but that was never the intention. The intention is to do shrimp, and the isopod business even supports the shrimp business, or that's the plan. But I'd never take an animal in, especially a rehomed, only to move it on again. My eldest daughter bought, she wanted a parrot, and I said to her, don't buy a parrot, you won't cope with it, you'll want to take it back, you'll be giving it me in a week. It's only a small Australian parrot. I think I showed it on this morning, but on this morning's live, she asked me to go catch it and take it back. She couldn't cope with it, and I said, you can't do that, keep moving it around, poor thing. So I've ended up with it, and they lived for a long time. Not that I don't like it, you know, it'd sit next to me. If I've got my head up against the cage, it'll peck my hair, sort of pull strands of my hair and sort of run them through his beak. And then if he hears me get up in the morning, he goes crazy. Always sits there when I'm eating a bit of toast, sort of as if to say, give us a bit of toast. He gets the odd little crumb of it now and then, because bread's not really good for him. But not that sort of person. If I have something, I've had it. I'm not, you know, warts and all. I'm not going to have something to move it on. And they're not stuff like this are pets. They're not livestock to me. They're mine. They're my pets. And even if they do bully each other, but if there are two females and I need to separate them because of that bullying, then that's a different question. If I could get a male. But the bully has had time out before, and it sort of calmed down. It was every sort of 5 minutes when they first went in here, and then I give her 2 days in time out, or the bully. I'll give the bully a couple of days in time out, and then put her back, and it let the other one re-establish themselves into the terrarium. House burning down, wow. And my dumpy tree, folks. 9 years. They survived a house burning down. Got them from a friend. At the time, he said he had them for 6 years. Yeah, I mean, it says 10, 8 to 10 years. I saw somebody say, but I've also saw people say that they've had them for nigh on 25 years. I mean, they might outlive me. I hope not, but they might. My missus says, "What do I do if anything ever happens to you with all that in there?" I says, "Ring Rob." I says, "Find my phone, open my phone up and give Rob a ring, he'll know what to do." And likewise, Rob had said the same thing with his. I mean, he's obviously got rid of them all now. But he used to say to me, if anything happens to me, he says, "Come and get all my shrimp." We're good friends, as you probably gathered, but he's a good 100 mile away from me. So the other one's hiding, I think, fed up of being bullied. Oh, here it comes. Spoke too soon. See, I think the one, let's have a look at the toes. I think the one on the right is the male. Just looking at the toe pads. So the toe pads on this one in the front are sort of square across the front of the toe pads. Mind you, I don't know, that one looks square across as well. So when I took some really close-up photos, this one, is it this one? This one, the top of the toe pads look split a little, but the other one, they didn't. What? Look at that. You see that? Put my finger up the glass and it's come right up the glass as if to say, "Yo, give me some food." Madness. And the one on the bit of bark spotted something. Probably a springtail. What? Do you want? Come on then. Oh, here we go. We're going to slide up the glass now, are we? Come on. It's coming as well. Come on then. Come on. It's coming up. If the glass was wet, I've dried it and cleaned it. If the glass was wet, it'd be up there. But obviously you wouldn't, it'd be humid and like condensation, so you wouldn't see it so much. Which is why I dried it and cleaned it, so that you guys can get a bit of a view. I need to do so much work in here, man. I need to move some shrimp, like tanks fulls of shrimp, and they're in low down tanks and sitting, bending forward, with a problem with your spine and your discs and compressed nerves. Catching shrimp, lots of shrimp, and then needing to empty the tank out, take it out the rack, make sure there's no babies in it. Rivet. Feed me, Rivet. Watch him when I click the button to open the door. They can hear the door open. They know straight away that you're opening the door. They're probably thinking now, what are you opening that for? Where's my food? I want to try them with some, and again, this guy that I've been put in touch with. If I was eating fruit flies every time I had a meal, and although I probably do feed them daily, they're not getting heavily fed daily. They're getting a snack and a heavy feed every couple of days. But we were talking about beam weevils and culturing beam weevils, and what he said is they can be really fussy about certain things, but they absolutely love the big PA feeds. So if I was a frog, I wouldn't want to eat fruit flies every single day, when in my natural habitat I'd be eating all sorts of stuff. Anything that sort of crawled I could fit in my mouth I'd eat, type thing. So I'm trying to sort of get a bit more of a varied diet for them. My little frogs, I have to feed them fruit flies. I've got no other option, because they wouldn't take bigger stuff. These would eat pinhead crickets. So if I can find pinhead crickets, they'd probably eat those. But the problem with pinhead crickets is they're either going to like them or they're not. And you're going to be buying a tub of pinhead crickets to do one feed with, and then what you do with that tub of pinheads, I mean, they keep for a bit. I suppose if you're feeding them, they'll keep. But my experience of crickets is, unless you're sort of feeding them and they get stinky as anything, never been a fan of them. I don't really want crickets in here, because they would survive in here if they escaped as well. Oh, it's a nightmare, Rye. I've got a herniated disc, and it's compressing the I wonder if I could actually feed ants. Probably could. Ants are completely different to what we feed compared to what they would find in nature. Yeah, down the sciatic nerve, L3 and L5 down both legs. More so down the right leg until recently. Oh, it's horrible. I have to sit, stand. When it first started, I was struggling to sort of get upright, and then after about 10 months, 12 months, something changed drastically where I couldn't sit down. Couldn't even sit on the toilet, couldn't sit down to go to the loo or anything. Ended up out, NHS came out and fitted all sorts of devices around the house. Couldn't shower, couldn't get in and out of the bath, couldn't get in the shower because it's over the bath. Couldn't even sit in the settee. And when that first got bad, I phoned an ambulance and they said, oh, it's pointless, they're just going to give you painkillers. And I went, no, I want to go. I phoned you, I want to go. And they took me into hospital, did get an MRI, and they just sent me home on shed loads of opioids, 2 different opioids at the same time, which God knows what they were thinking. And it sort of eased off. It eased off. I was tempted to go and pay for injections, 1,700 quid a pop. And literally, when I decided not to pay for them, because I'd be kicked off the NHS lists, within a couple of weeks I had a date to have them anyway, and I've had them, and I think they've made me worse. I think they've actually made me worse. Mine's more of a sciatic cramp, so all my tendons lock up. It's almost like someone's just switched off my legs from the knees down. Tendons lock up. My big toes actually curl up and go rigid and then from the knee down, it's like I've got intense cramp, but I can't do anything to get rid of the cramp. Cold things on the legs work, but we have got one of these. My missus had similar problems ages ago, and we bought one of these things that electrocutes your feet. So we found it the other day. I might try and give that a go. Sit on that for half hour a day. See if getting the circulation going around the bottom of my legs helps with that type of cramping. Oh, sometimes I haven't done it of late. I have been up a couple of times. I'll get up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and Rob's live with the Americans and sometimes the Australian contingents, and I'll pop on a live. But I have actually come in here and gone live at 1, 2 in the morning because I just cannot physically get back into bed. But I've found a little bit of a coping mechanism. Come down, have a drink, not alcohol, just a cup of tea or a glass of pop or something, have a bit of a walk round. In here is great because I can put my feet on cold floors, and then take an amitriptyline, just the 10 ml, and 40 minutes later it kicks this cycle where I'm just comatose. Ooh. That could be spinal as well. There's something called what's it called? So in my back, from the original MRI, the MRI said that you've got narrowing of the canal that takes the spinal cord. So that's narrowing. Canal stenosis it's called, but it usually get it in your neck where the canal that carries the nerves from your brain down to your legs and everywhere else, it narrows, so it's sort of compressing the main nerves. Canal stenosis it's called. I've got canal stenosis, 2 herniated discs, and there's arthritis in the bottom part of my spine, which I know I'm never going to get rid of. But if I get it bad, it's like, I don't want to be here no more. No, I haven't had that. I've had hackle balls. I've had they did some I don't know where you're based, right? It was at Derby Royal Hospital. They put in my L5 disc, they under X-ray, they put a needle right through into the spine, right next to the sciatic nerves, the root nerves, and on both sides, and they get them in position, and then they push them a tiny bit further until you scream they've hit that nerve. But they couldn't get it. My left side, it was the spine was too narrow to actually get a needle past it. It was that close, and they seven attempts to get the one on the left side in, and when they come to needing to tweak them, I was already shaking. I was in shock. I was in so much pain of what they were doing. And he went, let me know when I've done it. And I literally only just touched the needle, and it was like, you've done it. So they haven't worked, and I think they haven't worked because they never actually got onto the nerve end. I just said, yeah, you've got them, because I was already in so much pain and stress anyway. But yeah, yesterday was bad, really bad, after I'd been to see these guys, the terrarium guys. The it was on a Sunday, so they told me that the waiting list I'd probably hear November, December, and they'd started doing extra ops on a Sunday to try and clear the backlog. But it was horrific, and the horrific thing about it is I'm going to have it done again because it didn't work. So I'm going to have a real good chat with the consultant first and just say to him, if you can't get in the left side, just do the right side. But I think you can only have it done twice. I think they'll only do it twice, and then they discharge you. There's nothing more we can do for you, which is horrific. An op would cure it. They can do an operation called a microdiscectomy, but because there's no money in the NHS, they won't bloody do it. Ooh, I'm struggling now. Just gonna go and see what the dog's barking at. Back in a sec. I didn't realise on the. I've just looked on the phone that's in the house. I didn't realise that on the. If I haven't got a plugged-in mic on, how much background noise you can hear on here. So you can hear all the air pumps and bubbling and all sorts going on. They're always looking for food. I love the way the toe flickers. Oh, bad day. I've had bad days where I don't want to get up. I don't want to be here because I'm in that much pain that I can't get rid of. It's horrible. But you just got to crack on, unfortunately. There's nothing more you can do about it. You just got to get on with it. It's horrible as it sounds. I'm sure there's people worse than me, as you know. There's people worse than us. There's probably a better way. And they just, soldiers that have come back from battle and they've lost limbs and all sorts. I think we're quite lucky, but it doesn't help the pain. I was so bad yesterday. I went to bed with. I'm on pregabalin, tramadol, baclofen, and amitriptyline, but I only take off. I've got myself off all the meds except for pregabalin and just coping without having to cope medically, But the yesterday was the first time in ages I took tramadol, so I'd had pregabalin, tramadol, and amitriptyline last night. Put my head on the pillow. Every time I shut my eyes, it's tripping my head off. Mad. Yeah, there's people worse off than us. Just got to get on with it. You know, we're in a race, the human race, and you're either going to make it to the finish line or you're not. And it is literally, you know, it's pretty much, to me, that's. I had an epiphany. I I went to bed one night and I was praying not to wake up, and I had the most bizarre dream I've ever had. Proper bizarre. And my dream was almost like the ghost of Christmas past, where he takes him back to, you know, back into the past and back into the future. And at the end of the dream, I woke up, and the end of the dream was, this is, it sort of took me back, and it says, this is where you were, this is where you are now. The things are going to get better. There's you know, there's good things on the horizon type thing. And I woke up literally with tears streaming down my face, and I turned my frown upside down, as they say, and I decided that I was gonna, instead of concentrating on the negative, I was just gonna try and be as positive as I could. Yeah, look. I think it knows. I reckon they can hear stuff, you know. I believe that the reason the toe taps is it taps to see if it can move stuff out. So the toe like does these little like little taps, and it's almost as if they're sort of tapping the leaf litter to try and see if they can get stuff to come out. These two look like they're in a face-off stance at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. I've got a feeling I've read somewhere that why they do it, and if my memory serves me, it's that they'll tap to sort of see if they can get stuff to come out from under leaf litter. I might be 100% wrong, so don't take my word for that. But I think that's what I read. And this leaf here, I don't know if you guys can see this leaf here, but it's all eaten away in the corner, and that's because I've got it. There's a load of so there's loads of springtails which they will eat, but I've got a load of I'm trying if I can get these out. Let me pull this back a bit. I've got a load of these in here. I've moved the camera back because I want to lift this up. So these are dwarf speckled isopods, but they probably would take babies. But this is my my top-up colony. So they breed for fun, these things, but they sort of eat the frog poo and any rotting vegetation and leaves and stuff. So and there's springtails in here as well. I could feed them some springtails actually, because I've got a springtail colony of culture. So I could potentially feed them some springtails if I had to. But it's like 50 springtails to one fly. But yeah, I'll look into why they tap the toes. But I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that there was a purpose, whether it's to sort of, and they always seem to do it when they're stalking and looking for food. So they'll sort of stand by something and they'll toe tap, and sorry, you can't see it. They'll toe tap, and I think it's to sort of make the food move. So if the food's dead still, they sort of tap the toe as if to send vibrations to get it to move, and I think they see movement more than anything. I'd love to go and put my spotted shirt on. I've got it's a rip-off one from Turkey, but I've got this Hugo Boss polo neck, and it's got like a solid band, and then the solid band sort of fades into dots, and I kept walking past and I right up the glass, and then I realised that the dots must look like flies to them, and they've seen the movement, So I should have filmed it. I stood up the tank and they were licking the glass trying to get these spots off my t-shirt. Oh, my back's bad. So I've got my back. I'm sitting on that little. It's called a perching stool, but I've actually got it set low so the footprint on it's narrower for the shrimp room, and the small of my back is just below the top of the worktop. So I'm sort of leaning back over the worktop and putting a bit of pressure in the small of my back, just trying to stretch a bit. Yeah, the frogs are cool. So yeah, I'm undecided yet if I did another terrarium, I'd buy another one of. If I was going to do a bigger terrarium over in the corner, I'll buy a 600 by 45 by 600 tall, so 600 by 450 millimeters by 600 tall. And if I did that with a new frog species, my OCD, I'd get rid of the tank on the left here and have another one of these for the little red and white frogs. Or do I move this tank over into the corner and have a massive terrarium on here, 900 wide? So I don't know. It's more money, isn't it? It's all money. I need to get my sales up before I can. What I need to do is I need to have a good financial year where I've got spare money at the end of the financial year that I can spend on stuff so that the tax man don't have nothing. That's what I need to do. And my financial year is just finished. Ryan Reynolds looks like Glenn. Which version of Ryan Reynolds? The one that's got a melted face. Deadpool. Did anybody see the little video of doing the skate, little planted shrimp tank? Anyone seen that? 6 o'clock that was released. It wasn't due to come out today. I've got another one, but I thought this would be a better one. Dead shrimp ball. Dead shrimp ball. I've got dead shrimp powder. I wonder if I eat this I'll turn into dead shrimp ball. So I've got some dead shrimp powder. There's the old dead shrimp powder. DSP, dead shrimp ball. I love it. It's wicked. Oh, nice. I think Rob did a lovely one for his vampires. I think he's shut it down now. But I think Rob used to keep frogs a long time ago, and we were chatting about. I was chatting to Rob about I want something in the room, and we started chatting about frogs. I bought a second-hand terrarium and did my first terrarium scape on it, which is the one on the left. I'm only having one. It's just for the shrimp room, but loved them and ended up getting these, and now I'm already thinking of a third one. I'll never be able to go in here. I'd never be able to go above 3. I just don't have the room at all. And we were chatting. Rob was going to get some frogs, and I ended up getting some what are known as beginner dart frogs, but they're all pretty hardy, to be fair. I think if you go into some more of the harder species like Ranatamaya, Faga, they're quite difficult. If I ever do get a shop, I would have a frog section. If I had the room, I'd definitely have a frog section. I'd do shrimp, full aquatics, and frogs. Hi Keith. Yeah, Rob's was really nice. He was proper into the vampire crabs, and then but I think he just didn't see them. So it's a bit like the spiders. I do like them, but they just sit there. Whereas fish and shrimp are active, and you can get the food out, and you get the shrimp all going and get them breeding. And but the spiders, unless you want to breed them, but who wants 300 microscopic spiderlings hatching out of a nest, running all over you over your room? Oi, bully! Look at them at it again. Look. And I don't. I'm not a lover of spiders, but I like the jumping spiders. I think they're pretty cool, and they just don't live very long. She's gonna get some. I'm gonna get the sprayer out. She's gonna get sprayed. Behave yourself. Come up there, he is. One at the bottom, one at the top. And now you made me wet that begonia leaf that doesn't like to be wet in a highly humid environment. You little get. Should put the focus right on you. There you go. Our toes are tapping. Look. They definitely go on movements because I've saw them lick droplets of water, and it's not, they don't drink, they take in moisture through their skin. Yeah, I think Rob got rid of his because they just hid all the time. Oh, has it come down now? Hi Marie. Your sharks are prepped for tomorrow. I haven't captured them yet, but the tub's ready with some moistened sphagnum in. Cute tarantulas. Oh, you'll have to drop a link, Joffrey. You have to drop a link. Oh, I can make you actually, while I think about it, how do I do this? What's going on here? I've got a white spot in the middle of my screen. Oh, here we go. Now I can do it. Hi, Sonny. Who have I missed? Who have I missed? There you go. So you should all now have spanners next to your name. So if anyone wants to look at your channel, they can just click on your name. I think I've got everybody. Might be wrong. It's up there, look. Bunch of spanners. Bag of spanners in this house. See, they jump far as well. And this cork, okay, yeah, it's cork, but it's not soft to the touch. Just love that yellow V when they look straight ahead, as if to go, come on then, let's have it. She's gonna bully him now. Watch, or she's gonna bully her. If I've missed anyone, just shout up and I'll add you as a standard mod. So you've got a spanner next to your name. Oh, typical. I move the camera and that. Here we go. Let's beat you up. Somebody's gonna get tubbed out. So I was tempted yesterday, because the plants that I put in the soil here have never done well. The ones in the other terrarium have done really well on my own soil mix. I was tempted to sort of take stuff out of this sectionally, and speaking to the lads that I was doing stuff with, they said, why don't you just put down a bed of orchid bark and a sprinkling of peat over the top and not plant on it at all, because the forest floor naturally wouldn't be planted. And if you use those little plants like the one that I showed you, they'll, because it'll hold moisture, those types of plants will just end up creating a carpet across the floor, but not with these blooming bullies. I think when I set my next one up, I'm going to get all my planting established before I even consider what's going in it. I'll look at a locality, I'll use stuff specifically from that locality. So I'll do it almost like a biotope. So the only plants that would go in would naturally occur in that locality, and get them all established first before even considering putting anything in it. Yeah, you're welcome. I've been meaning to do it. I've been meaning to do it previously, but I was let's have a look at my battery. I was meaning to do it previously, but I couldn't, because on a lot of the times I'm on StreamYard. I couldn't do it through StreamYard. I suppose I could have logged on my other phone as me, but could I have gone onto the stream from Facebook? I don't know. They're brilliant. They're such. So the only sort of downside is if you buy one of these like a plug and play. So this one's not too bad. Is fruit flies can escape them. So a couple of places on this one that if I was bothered about them I'd do. So there's a vent in here, and what I should do is take that vent out and put a screen inside it. so like a fly mesh screen inside that vent. And then likewise on this one, up the glass here, there's a bit of a gap, but that's easy to fix because all you do is you just run a bead of clear aquarium silicone down it, let it set, and then you run a razor blade down it, so you've sort of closed the gap. So they do need a little bit of, you know, if you buy something off the shelf, a pre-made terrarium. This one's horrendous for it. So I don't know if I can get the angle. So flies can get in and out of there, but I believe that they clip off from the inside, and you can run a screen of mesh. But you need like cross vents, so they need to be in there. And then if you actually look at the glass, this one doesn't shut properly. I mean, it was second hand. This one doesn't shut properly. There's a gap pretty much all the way up it. There's gaps down the side of this one. And because this one was originally designed for reptiles rather than frogs, there's a mesh screen in here, and all I've done, I've siliconed in a piece of polycarb. Did I silicone it in all the way, or did I leave a gap at the back? No, I've fully siliconed a piece in all the way, just to sort of make that vent smaller to keep the humidity in. And this one's, I don't know if you can see that. So this one's more designed for dart frogs, where there's like a clip-off lid, and there's little holes in the back to run pipes through for sprinkler systems, misting systems. But can you see it from there? It's really difficult to show you this, but there's the mesh is a bit bigger on this one, but it's designed for dart frogs. So there's a lid on here. Let me move a couple of bits off. There's a clip on this lid. So if you're doing work with your misting nozzles and stuff, let's turn this down. You press, is it press? You press that button and it opens a handle, and then the whole lid lifts up, and you can sort of adjust your nozzles and stuff like that from in there. But it's much more well thought out, this one, and I like the big opening door. The only downside to it is the only size you can get it in is, they do a 45 cube, which I've got, or a 30 by 30 that's 45 or 60 tall, so it's narrower but it's taller, which would be ideal for a small tree frog species. But if you went for something like Amazonian milk frogs, they're not big enough. You need 45 wide, at least 60 tall, maybe 90 tall for a milk frog. And the reason I've never gone, that was what I was originally going to get, an Amazon milk frog. The reason I never got them is they're fully nocturnal, whereas the dart frogs are diurnal, so they'll be about in the daytime. I know it does. Look. Oh, not on there. Yeah, that part, I've got that poly on all of my so not these because they're glass, but all of these are poly lids. And what I originally did was I cut out like a slot for the float valve to rise, but I've since glued in pieces to try and cut down on evaporation. There we go, nice high grade blue with babies in the tank. And then we've got I need these I've increased the temp in this room, so I'll push the temp up. So I was keeping the room between 21 and 22, and my tanks were sitting at about 20. And I've noticed since they're now the tanks are sitting slightly warmer at 21, 22. But I've noticed since I've turned the the heat up. I've done it for the frogs more than the shrimp, but I've noticed that my shrimp that aren't usually active are way more active. So I'm hoping, I need to get the guppies in here because I've got bloody seed shrimp in there. But I've noticed that I'm hoping that these will get on the breed, because they bred before I moved them into this tank, but they don't seem to be breeding now. And then there's plans to take some of these out into a specific breeding tank of their own. So that I need to find them, but there's a couple of really sort of really mint ones in here. You can zoom this, can't you? So that's a candidate. That's a candidate to come out and breed. Just seeing if I can see the ant. Looks male as well, which is good because the male genetics are stronger. And bloody hell, dead shrimp. So yeah, these are these seem a lot more active since I've upped the temp, so we might get some last minute winter breeding on the go. These guys are doing okay. And if you look in this tank, you can't see a shrimp in it, but there are hundreds. But they're wild tigers, so they're quite hard to see. There's one there. Tigers actually. And then I'm in the process of anything that was left from my blue tank, so I've just spotted another one. Every time I see something in here like that, it gets moved across into the mixed tank, and I'm going to start doing serious culling. Got a couple of baby bristlenose in this tank, can't you tell? So that sand was clean about a week ago. But the shrimp seem a lot. There's not many shrimp in here. There were blue jellies, but they seem a lot more active. The few that I've got since I've put the bristlenose in. This tank's getting some work done in it. So all that gravel's coming out. The Amano's going to go into the house. These guys aren't getting fed because they're not doing a very good job of consuming algae, and they need to. So no feed till Brooklyn. These guys are going to get some serious work on them, and that tank down there, the shrimp are going to go up here. And well, before, as I take them out, I'll choose the shrimp that are in there. So they'll either, I'll put them in a breeder box, they'll either stay in there as a sort of medium grade, or if they're super low grade, they're going to go in the coal tank. If they're really high grade, they're going to come up here, and likewise any medium grade from there will go down there, and any low grade from there will go in the mixed tank. And I was playing music to these guys earlier, so I was playing. These have got quite a loud call, and I was playing the call to see if anyone answered the call. And as when I did it before a few months back, only one did, but they just might not be adult enough yet, or I've got 4 females. But only one showed interest last time. Sorry, I've not been reading messages. Crap all over the gaff, yeah. That moss. So, let me show you something about that moss. So when I bought my moss down there, I bought it on a 5 centimetre pad like this. So they are literally this is Hookeration moss, they're tied to a pad. And you can just about see the buds starting to grow, and it will grow up. This moss here, where are you? This moss here started off as a 5 centimetre pad. It's a rarer moss called Huckeracia. And then everywhere else I only use flame moss. So again, I've got some flame moss tied to pads that are up on the website. So I can't remember what price those are, but these are 8 centimetre pads. I think they're $12.99. But again, don't quote me on it. But I can use some of the mosses in here, and I was shocked because when I was speaking to people yesterday, there's people that use aquatic plants in terraria because of the humidity. Things like baby tears, dwarf baby tears, stuff like that. You know, the can't think of the name of it. Similar to the Monte Carlo. Is it Hemiacanthus or something? Monte Carlo. And there's a baby tears one, a dwarf tears one. Keith will know. But people use them in. Look at him on the leaf. Oh. Let's have a look. He said, "Hi Rebecca, for our freshwater rich biology." Right, let's. Right, Rebecca's got a spanner now as well. Yeah, well, that's what I was saying, Keith. This plant that I got yesterday. This plant that I got yesterday, I think is really similar to a hydrocoil. Can't get no light on it. It's difficult. I'll tell you what I'll do. If I put it in here, might get some light on it. Come out the way. Come on, come on, come on. Out that way. But that will carpet. That will completely carpet if you've got it in the right environment. So at the moment, I'm just going to leave it tubbed up. As long as it's got a bit of light, the room's warm anyway. I'll keep it in the tub with the lid on. It's not going to go anywhere. I could take cuttings off it and grow a few more in different tubs. But the plan is, whenever I do something, I don't think it'll be this one unless I tub these up for a month. Is to have the base of a terrarium absolutely covered in that type of hydrocoil plant. Yeah, like a micro. It's called. I can't read the guy's writing because he's wrote on the label. It's called Peperomia emerginella. Peperomia emerginella. From Ecuador. So again, I think like the frogs, where you get the frogs that sort of change dependent on the locality where you get the frogs from, you probably also get different forms of the same plant dependent on locality where you get the plant from. Peperomia, yeah, it's so I went to this is for Rebecca. I went to an aquatic shop the other day and I heard a dart frog calling. So I asked questions. Said no, there's a guy that works here, does a few days here and there to help us out. He put the terrarium in. He's got a place up at this other garden centre. So that's my Saturday sorted. I'm going up to a garden centre to see this guy about dart frogs. But he keeps dart frogs, but he's not a dart frog person. He's a terrarium person and a plant person. And they've got a little business on Facebook and stuff called the Terrarium Hut. They're based in Lichfield. So give them a look up and give the page a like and stuff. Yeah, well, I was thinking this, Keith. I've got some boosters and stuff coming, and that they're bound to be immersed. So how well will they do in a terrarium if I put the roots onto like a ball of sphagnum moss? Yeah, the this species are quiet. They're more of a grunt, but my other species that I keep should trill. Um, I don't know if they're old enough, but I've had them quite a while, and I'm pretty sure they were sub-adult when I had them, and they're full size, but I've never got them to sing. And what I did was a couple of months ago, I played them a call of their own species, and one of them come right up to the front glass, flying at it like trying to break the glass almost. And I wondered if that was a male coming to the call, as if to say who's in my area. So I'm sitting there thinking, we've got 3 females, 1 male, brilliant. But speaking to people, they said it's more likely to be the female coming to the call, but only one of them come to the call. So I don't know. I've been playing them the call today. I've had it on loop because again somebody says just play them a call and see if it encourages them to sing. Because I don't mind them singing in there. Be nice other than silence. I don't like Java fern. Never liked Java fern. Yeah, I'm going to put that mini hydrocotyl thing, that peperomia. I think when I do it, I'm gonna. I need to make my mind up. I'm gonna do. I spoke about it earlier. I'm gonna do one of 2 things. I'm either gonna move. I'm gonna tub them up, strip that terrarium down completely, and sell it and buy another one identical to this. So I've got 2 on the shelf exactly the same. But I'm half tempted to move the one in front of you over into the corner, get a big 900mm, so 900 by 450 by 600 custom made, and go all ham on it. But if I do that, I don't want to get rid of my Epibabates frogs, so it's if I can find something that will live in that community, probably another thumbnail that aren't aggressive and will live with other frogs that won't crossbreed. So I need to do a bit of research and have a bit of a think about it. If I end up getting another one of these on here, so I've got 2 identical ones, then the alternative plan is up in the corner where I was going to move these. I could fit a 600 by 450 by 600 and probably have a group of bumblebees, a group of leucomellas or something. I don't know yet. And it probably won't happen for a year. Probably won't happen for a year. There's a couple of plants in here that I want out because they're doing my head in. I'm gonna, not this tank, the other tank. I'm gonna rip a load of this ficus out and root it up and sell them as either rooted cuttings or potted plants, because that's gone absolutely crazy. Tub up the frogs, and then maybe get another one of these in. But even before that, there's a peace lily in there that's really it's too big for that terrarium. It's not tall enough for that type of plant. So I might take the peace lily out and put it in as an actual house plant in one of my little hanging basket type things. I need to keep an eye on my battery, guys. Oh, I hear chat then. It's not creeping. That oak leaf's quercifolia. My original plans for this tank was I bought a quercifolia. It was 20 quid, and I weren't ready for it when I bought it, but I didn't. It come from somewhere where I knew it wasn't going to be contaminated with anything. So I left it in the pot it came in with the bag over it, and it melted. I lost it, killed it. So it just never happened, and I've never. That's the original Ficus pumila that has never really took off in here at all, compared to in here. But it's just gone. It's gone batshit crazy now. Absolutely. In fact, what's that? Because that's different. That's a completely different plant. Or is it just the tips of it that have gone different colour? No, that is, oh, I don't know. Because that's completely different to the others, but I think it's coming off the top of. Don't know, looks completely different. Let's take that bit of dead out. But yeah, this one's gone batshit crazy. I mean, this bit of wood here, that's not even fixed in, but I can't take it out because it's so covered in that vine that it just won't come out at all. And then maybe bring some of the Nerol, whatever they're called. But yeah, I might strip it down and rather than have all that much cover, do it slightly different. And if I had my time, I'd take the wood out as well. So that piece of wood and this piece of wood quite low. And what I'd probably do is just have a single branch coming down, and then have all epiphytes on the background. But I might end up stripping this tank and redoing it. I don't know yet. So if I'm going to strip it, because it looks odd next to them, they're actually both the same size, believe it or not, 45 cube allegedly. I think one's got feet and one's got like a deeper front. I've painted these black, whereas this one's quite shallow, and there's a bottom drain in that one. So OCD, I'd want them both the same if I did that. But yeah, probably have some slower growers or some macravias or something. Hi Rob. Hi Bunny. Let me go to Bunny a second. Why can't I click on Bunny? Don't know what's happening now. I'm trying to click on Bunny so I can give him or her a spanner, but it won't let me click on them. Don't know why. Try again. No, just won't let me click on them, that's all. Only Rob calls me that. I can't, for some reason, I can't click on Bunny to give them a spanner. Yeah, I can now. I can now. Hit the like if you could, guys and girls. Oh, I'm just going to go and grab a glass of water or something. And where have I put my vape? There. Just going to go and grab a glass of water. Sorry, went for a glass of water and ended up cleaning a load of bloody mess the dog's made. Let's go back through some of these comments. Bet you thought I got drowned in the water, didn't you? Corridors Jeffrey. Not too rare or common. Be right back, phone call. They sound right up my alley then. So yeah, I never, the dog must have wanted to go out, and I hadn't got the back door open. So the dog decided to piss up the bloody side of the thing by the back door. So I've had to bloody clean that up. But to be fair, the back door should be open. It's not like it's cold, is it? Oh dear. Oh. Everyone ready for work tomorrow? I've got blood tests in the morning. Oh, I know. To be honest, I was already in here streaming when she went out. She's only gone to bingo. She doesn't go away till Tuesday. I was only in here. I was already in here, so she's gone out and not left the back door open. That's my excuse anyway, and I'm sticking to it. Don't mention work. I used to really enjoy my job until they changed my manager, and I ended up with a knobhead who was younger than me and younger than me, been doing the job half the time I've been doing the same job, and talks to you like a child, like trying to tell you how to do the job that you've been doing for 20 years, like, you know what I mean, 20 plus years. And yeah, I wasn't, by the time I left that last job, I think he was so fed up of me, because I weren't taking no shit. I weren't having it. Well, you need to do this and you need to do that. No, I don't. That's your job. I weren't having any of it. And I think the only way they could do it was come up with some bullshit to try and get rid of me, based on some mad clauses in the contract that they used. But probably did me a favour, if I'm honest. I might try and raise this stool up a bit. See if I can get up to. If I do that, let's lower this down a bit. Actually, I'm trying to do it so I can sit and read the messages at the same time. And that works, because I can always. What you found? Earlier, Rob, when I was putting my finger by the glass, it was climbing the glass to get to my finger. I should put a black dot on my finger, shouldn't I? So he thinks it's a fly. Yeah, absolutely. About the TV, 100%. Let's lower that down a little bit more. It's not much, quite close. In fact, I never thought if I do it from a lower angle, you get more of the, if you're looking up into the terrarium, you potentially could get more of the terrarium in. Oh, I tell you what, I mean, I like Mephibobates, but Dendrobates, different animal, literally, but they are just so much bolder and full of character. I think the bumblebees are a little bit smaller, aren't they, Rob? The Luke's are a little bit smaller than the Tinks. Yeah, but it's proving it, Keith. So this is the irony, right? In the last quarter of 2022, I won Employee of the Quarter for all the work that I'd done with a company over in Belfast and managing to keep them on board, right? On the 16th of January 2023, I was dismissed, and I was dismissed because I hadn't, what was the term? There was a clause in my contract that says if the board deem that you're not hitting targets and performing as they deem fit, you can be instantly dismissed. Now, they didn't instantly dismiss me. They gave me 2 months notice, but dismissed me. The clause was the killer. because I'd obviously signed that contract without realising that. What they'd done was, we used to have to do 55% a month chargeable time. So 55% of your chargeable, your monthly hours needed to be chargeable. So you needed to charge them out at a minimum of 55%. How it worked was, if you only worked 5 days, it was and you had three weeks off, it was 55% of 5 days. But you could also record things like unavailable time. So unavailable time wouldn't class the same as chargeable time, but it if the company asked me to go to a customer day, on that week I'd have 1 day that they'd take out of my calendar, so I'd need 55% of 4 days. This company that I won the award for, because I'd done so much work to keep them going and keep the project alive, I was doing loads of back-end server work for them and testing. And my gaffer says, you can't have that as not available time because it's part of that project. I said, well, I'm not doing it then. He says, but you've got to do it. I says, well, you need to charge them for it then. I can't charge them for it. So I was doing loads of work that I couldn't have as non-chargeable time, and I couldn't have as not available time, and I couldn't have as chargeable time. And that's what I won the award for, and that's why they sacked me. Because for the last couple of months of this project, I never hit target. I never hit my 55% because I couldn't. I was doing all my work with these guys. 2 months later, it turns out that my previous company had bought that company, and when I handed my notice in, the gaffer was a dickhead because I'd gone to a competitor. Absolute dickhead. And I ended up paying a solicitor. They'd got that nasty, and they tried to withhold my money. I was on a 3-month contract. They tried to withhold my money and everything, and I weren't having it. Because the only thing I'd done is what they told me to do, and then they kept changing their mind, trying to make me look like a dickhead in front of my new employer. So I can't prove it, but I reckon that in the pre-buyout discussions, one of the discussions were it shows your commitment to making the sale by getting rid of him. I'm convinced of it, but how'd you prove it? How'd you prove it? Because I did my job too well. Yeah, I got sacked for doing my job too well. Let me go and grab some. It was Q3 22. It wasn't the fourth quarter. I think it was the last quarter of 2022. It says 21-22 on here, but that's the award. That's the award. Just strange, isn't it, that you actually get an award for the work, the amount of work and the effort that you've put into a project, and then they sack you for the same project for no apparent reason other than that you were doing that much work for them that they wouldn't allow you to have it as non-chargeable time. Just going to put this back, guys, in the bin. Got me all riled up now. You always need a poo, Rob. Fish room should have a spanner now as well. Don't forget to hit the like if you could, be appreciated. I'm surprised Jeff hasn't appeared. I know he's busy moving racks, isn't he, and stuff. But I haven't heard of him for a few days. I know Rob spoke to him, but I need to chat to him about this auction thing. Turtle's heads. Yeah, I know he's busy. I just need to sort of tie up with him, because if I've got my plants coming Friday, I need a date relatively soon after that, within a week or two, for this auction. And a week ago he said 2 weeks, so just need to tie that up really. Probably ring him, voice screen time him or something, and just have a chat and see what he wants to do. And I mean, ultimately I can get them up on the website and sell some, if not, or I could do a little auction myself. But the plan for the plants was for Jeff's auction, so but that's probably what he's doing. He's probably getting everything ready for the auction. I need to check my battery, guys. 20%. So we'll go to 2 hours 15, and then I'll wrap it up. I'm in absolute ragwood when I need to go and make a mop bucket and have a good clean up. And that's good, Rob. Oh dear. So you know Rob, you remember when you first sent me the house plants and the pothos, and I killed the pothos? I haven't, you know. Look at this. It was dead, and it's come back. This one. Been in here for ages, and it was dead, and it's come back. Oh, I know, it don't die. I mean, it's just, all it's done is put up 2 great big leaves at the moment. But I'm going to I think I'm going to take he's polishing his spyglasses. Yeah. I'm going to I think I'm going to take the peace lily out and put it I'm going to pot it up out here, the peace lily. I'm going to try something, and this is a little bit cruel, but let's see if it works. Only a little bit cruel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a green dot on my finger, just a little green dot. So when I had the t-shirt on with the dots on, it was running past, but they were black dots. So I wonder if I've got to do it with a black pen. It's a green Sharpie that is now. It looks like I'm picking the nose. I've got a bogey on my finger. Let's see if I can. That's not going to work. And then you're just looking for a bit of paper, a bit of card. What can I use? What can I use? One what I use. One what I use. Don't know if this will work. But yeah, they made me laugh because I've got this t-shirt on with loads of little black spots on it. It's like a black band, and it faded down to I don't think these are going to be dark enough. Definitely clocked them. I was walking past with this spotty t-shirt. They kept licking the glass and stuff. They're not dark enough, I don't think. I put some black spots on them. Fish food lid tug, just to see if they'd react, but they haven't. Probably just not dark enough. Don't know. When you said Keith polishing his spy glasses, it brought back memories of a song where there's a line in the song that says polishing the glasses and pulling out the cork, and I'm down in the tube station at midnight. The wine will be flat and the curry's gone gold. What a tune. The jam, love the jam. Glenn Reynolds. Who's called me Glenn Reynolds? I'm thinking, what's Ryan Reynolds doing now? Bogies. Bogies! Yeah, yeah, I love the jam, man. Down in the tube station, that track. Just the lyrics in it are just mad. You know, there's a line in it that goes, I first felt a fist and then a kick. I could now smell their breaths. They smelt of pubs and wormwood scrubs and too many right-wing meetings. Just how'd you write that? You know what I mean? Oh, you lucky devil. My pal who works for not the last company, but the company that bought that company, he flew out to Sydney to see Weller in Sydney. They sort of did. They've got friends out in Oz, and they flew out to see Weller in Sydney, live in Sydney. But I'd love to see Weller. I can play a few of his songs on acoustic, Wildwood, stuff like that. I did see a meme. We're all muds. We're all muds. I did see a meme, and the meme was apparently something Justin Bieber had said. Justin Bieber said, God put me on the earth to make music. And the other half of the meme is Paul Weller saying, no, I didn't. The smell of brown leather blended in with the weather. Filled my eyes, ears, nose and mouth. It blocked all my senses. Couldn't see, hear, speak any longer. Just how'd you get that into a song? It's a poem, isn't it? He's wrote a poem and then he's built the music around the poem. But what a song. That's definitely my favourite down in the Tube Station. But there's a lot of their tracks that I like when they were the Jam. David Watts, A-Bomb and Wardour Street loads. And I weren't a mod, but I love the Jam. And the Toast. Oh yeah, he's a pure thoroughbred artist. 100%. I would love to see him live. I used to really be into U2 until probably, I think their last good album was what's it called? It's the Black Album, the Joshua Tree. I think U2 were really good up until the Joshua Tree, and then anything after the Joshua Tree, forget it. Even Rattle and Hum, where they did stuff with BB King and that. It was that style of, just what an absolutely brilliant album. Joshua Tree is their, I don't think it's their best album, but I think it's up there. I really like the Unforgettable Fire. I like the Joshua Tree. I think War for me was their best album, their early stuff. Absolutely loved their early stuff. 15, 16, and somebody my sister knew, or my sister's boyfriend's mate, got me smoking weed, and got me into U2 when I was about Party Girl. What a tune! I know a girl called Party Girl. Yeah, good tune, man. Good tune, really good tune. But yeah, so I absolutely adored U2 until the Joshua Tree, and then he got all eco warrior and turned into a bit of a dickhead, to be honest. And I don't, anything after that I don't really like. But everything after that, forget it, not interested. But there's a lot of bands like that. Their early stuff is absolutely amazing, and they've jumped because I've got up. Come up. So I've just had the 15% warning, guys. So it's streaming. Don't have to kill your battery, and I need a long charger cable, and then I can just leave it charged and stream for England, so to speak. But so I have had the 15% warning, and I don't want to kill it, but I haven't really got a choice. Unless I can't go till it dies because I've got 1,000,001 messages on there as well. Can I sing Barbie Girl? Which one? I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. That one. I'm a Barbie girl. Trying to think who that was. There's so much good 80s stuff, man. Not necessarily the new romantic side, just the 80s. There's just so much good stuff in the 80s. Hi, Ken. It's Mr. Bastard Ken to you, that is. So, right, I'm going to knock on the head, guys, and get this in the fast charger. As much as I want to stream for even longer, and I do need to make a mop bucket and give that another good going over where the dogs have piddled and pull that chair out and clean it's the side of a chair. Luckily it's a leather chair, so but I need to go and clean it. But thank you very much everyone that's been contributing in chat. much appreciated. And until next time, thanks guys. Bye bye.